Manchester United in their victory at Old Trafford against old foes Liverpool. Have you ever seen such a contrast in performances from their first two matches to that win over Liverpool, Jermaine?
No, is the brutally honest answer. Everything about what they did against Liverpool was fantastic. The passing, the moving, everything was sharp and snappy. Brilliant footwork there from Jadon Sancho. But, you know, in terms of the high-intensity sprints, the total distance covered, you know, we're talking about major improvements over that, from that Brentford game to the Liverpool game. And that's exactly what you want to see as a bog-standard basic from Manchester United team.
How much credit does Ten Hag deserve as well, Darren, for the brave team selection that he went for?
Yeah, a lot of credit. Although, if you were really harsh, you would say that there were bold decisions he should have made before the season began. We've all been saying that Ronaldo has been angling for a move away from Manchester United for quite some time. And the minute he starts to do that, he's not committed to the team. And so he shouldn't have been in the squad. And I think that he was absolutely right not to start him and only really to bring him on towards the end of the game. But I think as far as the Harry Maguire situation is concerned, he's finally addressing it. But again, he could have done that before the season began. And maybe then they wouldn't be going into the Liverpool game hunting their first win. I think, as Jermaine was saying, effectively what they did in the last game, they turned up for work. And what they've got to do now is actually try to continue in that vein. I don't think yet they deserve credit or pats on the back because they're Manchester United. That's the bare minimum, as you've been saying, that is required of them when you pull on that shirt.
Well, Ten Hag will have another decision to make for this match. Casemiro is officially at the club. We saw him being unveiled to the Manchester United fans in that Liverpool game before the match. So does he come straight into the team tomorrow?
I would put him straight in. Absolutely, I'd put him straight in. It's not like he's not fit. He knows the game extremely well. He's been playing for Real Madrid this season.
So he's got a smile on his face, doesn't he? Not when he's on the pitch, though.
If you sign the contract he's just signed, you'll have a smile on your face too. You know? But you look, he's a winner. That's what he is, and he brings that steel, he brings that experience and that knowledge of being in the right place at the right time, cleaning up and giving the ball to those key players who know how to play the game really well.
I'd be interested to see, Jules, if they play him the way he's used to at Real Madrid, because at Real Madrid he plays as the fulcrum, if you like, the base, and he has Kroos and Modric in front of him. Will Man United play the same way? Do you expect him to play the same way there?
I would say with Christian Eriksen and Fernandes kind of helping him out every now and then, having a little rotation between the three of them.
So no Fred?
Possibly not Fred. Possibly not Fred. They play with each other at the national team for Brazil, so they know each other really well. But you have to say, is Fred currently in the manager's plans? I'm not entirely sure. I think he should be, because I don't think he's actually that bad. But, you know, I would put him in straight from the beginning.
I would put him in straight from the beginning. But I think the pressure is all on United. OK, you could argue Southampton, no win in their last 12 against United in the Premier League. But from Man United's point of view, they've lost their last 7 away games. And that's their worst run since 1936. Yeah, there's a graphic, thank you. I think as far as...
They listen to you in there, Darren, don't they?
They do, thank you very much indeed. And I think... the last time they were on a run that bad, it was 10 matches in that season, 1936.
We don't have that one,
and you look But I think as far as the teams that they've lost to are concerned, it isn't just the Cities and the Arsenals and the Liverpool. It's the Palaces and the Brentfords and the Brightons. And that's the concern, that supposedly lesser teams are outworking them. That's why I can't get carried away with that win over Leicester, because I think that's the bare minimum of what's required, as you've been saying. Yeah. Now let's see if you do it against the Southampton side that haven't got a good record against you.
A player we saw come on in that Liverpool game was Anthony Martial, but now he's picked up an injury. He can't get a break, can he?
No, I know, and that's extremely frustrating, because I thought when he did come on, he played really well. Obviously, he got the assist for Marcus Rashford, but his all-round game, he likes to play in that number 9 role, and he's a natural in that sort of position. So he picks up positions and areas of the pitch where you know, Marcus Rashford or Fernandes or Elanga or somebody, Jadon Sancho, wouldn't necessarily naturally find themselves in. So he's going to be a big loss for him.
Do you know, Jules, I think the best thing that could have happened for Rashford was that goal, because the confidence, I mean, you can speak better to that than me, but I think the confidence he'll get from that will actually maybe kickstart him into a run-off form that might see the confidence come back and might even silence all this talk about maybe United bringing in another striker. I know they're looking at Gakpo and Antony and all, but you got Rashford right there. He's not 31, he's 24. He is a guy who just needs an injection of confidence, and maybe these goals will do it for him.
Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? As for Southampton, they've had a really interesting start to the season, because coming into the campaign, I think everyone had them outside of the 3 promoted teams as probably the then
favourites.
next most likely to be in that relegation pack come the end of the season. Yeah. But they've showed real character in their last 2 matches, coming from behind to win points. What have you made of them?
I'm not entirely sure just yet, to be honest. You know, we see all sorts from Southampton. We see good football in play, but we also see silly mistakes, and we see great positional sense from the defenders and midfield players, but also we see lack of concentration and focus at times as well. One of the good sides, the positives at the moment, is the current form of Che Adams up front. I think he is rejuvenated himself over the summer. He seems to have got himself really fit. He's happy, he's firing, he's finding himself in the right place at the right time. Scored a couple of goals as well. And he's gone from, look at this, great movement there from him, you know, lovely finish. Possibly the defender could have done a bit better on the line. But for somebody that was on the verge of being linked with a move away, you know, he's actually... Back you like that one, Darryl? I've got 1 or 2 of those as well. Check out my YouTube video later on.
Well, how important is it that Southampton keep hold of him, Darren, because he's been key in these last couple of games?
Yeah, the word on the street was that Everton wanted to sign him, but obviously they've managed to keep him away from them. It isn't just in the league games he scored twice as well. He scored in the Carabao Cup as well twice. So that's 4 goals in his last 2 games, so he'll be raring to go against a fairly uncertain Manchester United defence. There is no Harry Maguire, we expect, so it'll be Martinez again alongside Varane. They looked as though they really enjoyed defending in that game, but Southampton will give them a real test. I don't think Liverpool were, by their huge standards, where they wanted to be, but Southampton will bombard balls into the box. They'll be physical, they'll get tight, they'll make it hard.
Down the channels, etc. as well, yeah. They'll make it a difficult game.
From what we've seen so far this season, not pre-season, but this season from Manchester United and last season, it looks like it could be a difficult night. Let's start to look at what the positives might be. We saw when Raphael Varane came in last season, they announced his arrival on the pitch before the Leeds game. Manchester United went in 1-5-1. It lifted the crowd. It seemed to lift and galvanise the players. It looks like they're going to bring Casemiro in, and they're bringing in a player with that wealth of experience, that winning mentality, and that might just be something that can tip the players into, I don't know, a form of self-belief.
Well, I think the boys need somebody else in with them. You can see that. You know, you can see the fact that they're really struggling confidence-wise. And he's 30 years old. You know, he's won 5 Champions Leagues. He's at the base of one of the best midfields we've ever seen with Modric and Kroos. I think he's just what they need. He's got a mentality that he expects to win. He demands to win. And the point is, you need more players like that in and around that. I think United lost so many leaders and captains over a relatively quick space of time. Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville, you know, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, you know, the list goes on forever. And I don't feel like they have that nucleus there. I think he's a guy, you think about De Gea, you got Varane, you got Casemiro, you got Ronaldo. There's a decent spine there. And they need to come together, and I think he's perfect for them. Look, he's not going to score a ton of goals or get a ton of assists, but in terms of demanding the most from your teammates, you almost couldn't get a better guy. He's just a little bit old and probably costs a lot of money, but they're paying a premium for something really special.
I mean, how difficult was that position? You played a similar position, didn't you, to Casemiro? How difficult is it? Because he had lots of legs. Like, he's got Rodrigo, and he's got Vinicius Jr., and he's got 2 really highly intelligent attacking midfielders, Modric and Kroos in front of him. He's got Tchouaméni in there as well. Obviously, if they choose to play them alongside each other. Whereas at United, there isn't that quality, is there, on the same level?
Well, probably not. But I think if you look at all the teams that have won, whether it's Champions League, Premier Leagues, World Cups, they've all had that guy. Whether it's, you know, Kante at Leicester and at Chelsea and with France. You look at what Fabinho's done, Makelele, you look at what Fabinho's done for Liverpool. You know, every team, as much as we all talk about the front three and Alisson and Van Dijk, you need that guy in there because when you have so many attacking players, they're kind of at the base of it. And I think Casemiro does that for United. So I hope he can do it, but it's a big ask for one guy to come and
That's what I'm
steady
asking.
the
Was
ship.
it hard for you when you played that position?
I love that role because I just think I love the fact that I could do a job for the team, stop the opponent's best player, and get it to the guys that make a difference. You know, and that's my job. Righty's got to get the ball in the area. You know, we got to get it to the guys that go win you the game. But sometimes you need guys that are there to keep the ship up when it's going down.
yeah.
And right now, it looks like they don't have enough of those guys.
Amongst those watching on tonight was Casemiro inside the stadium. He was unveiled prior to the game. They've got the 5 times Champions League winner signed and sealed from Real Madrid, 30 years of age. Fan of this signing?
I am, yes, a little money-wise. I think it's a little bit too much, but that isn't our concern. That's not the fans' concern. We have got a very good player, very experienced player, very organised player, and he will make the players around him better. Unbelievable experience, as I said. Played with some fantastic players in Real Madrid, a fantastic Real Madrid team, and now he's come into a team. You've got to give him credit because it's a real challenge. OK, I know he's getting a lot of money for it, but this is a real challenge coming from a Champions League winning team to a La Liga winning team, coming to a team who, at the start of the season, well, before tonight, you're thinking a team who finished 6th. You look at that tonight, you're thinking, well, maybe they could squeak into a top 4, I don't know, but look, it's a big job for him, but he's that experience and that character that I think this club needs.
Certainly not. Now, as I explained last Monday, on every Monday game day on The Final Word, it will be myself and Michael Owen. Where is he? I can hear you asking. The answer to the question, he's watched the game in Indonesia with our friends over there. So let's see what he thought of Liverpool's performance.